Hi there, it's Wise here, back at you giving you some wise words. What's good with you? Tell you what's good with me. Everything is everything. Life is good. Family is good. Being alive is good. Everything is good. And I'm wishing tons of good energy, sending you tons of good energy. Please, Care Bear, stare with the love. Love you. Got Bruce on the shirt today, embodying the uncle. And what do I want to talk to you about? How to overcome adversity. How to overcome adversity. What do I have to say about it? Well, I've flirted with adversity in my life, let's just say. Uh, well, I guess it's story time. Let me tell you a little bit of a story. Young Umar. Let's rewind the clock. Long time ago. Not even really that long ago. I'm still young Umar. Go back to when I was growing up in Brooklyn, New York, little nappy headed boy. My mom first moved us to Jamaica, Queens. I believe it was or not 1991, 1992. And so I was used to living in Brooklyn. Brooklyn, if anybody's there, Brooklyn now is very different than what Brooklyn was back then. Deviating from the story and now getting back on the story, we moved to a place called Jamaica, Queens in New York. Jamaica, Queens was not really the best, most conducive place for a 7-year-old at the time. Whatever the case may be, I still was getting my lay of the land. One day, young Umar walking home from school, crossing the street by himself, gets hit by a car. Now, even though the driver was under the influence of some sort of narcotic and possibly even alcohol at the time, should have been paying attention. Goes a long way. Goes a long way. Just what it says about paying attention, no matter how old or young you are. With that being said, I get hit by a car. Now, up until then, I had been practicing martial arts since I was about 4 years old. Thank you, Uncle Bruce, for inspiration. I have been very active, just like any kid. Love going outside, riding my bike, playing in the park, all those good things. No pun intended, all that came to a screeching halt once I get hit by a car. It took me about a good 7 to 8 months to recover. Now, there were really no broken bones. There were some displaced bones. The way that I got hit and rolled over. Let's not talk about it too much. Let's just say that the doctors still to this day think it's a miracle that I ever got back up. If you want to rewind back the clock even further, I was also born with spinal meningitis or contracted it in the hospital. Who's to say? That's still under debate by my mom and the doctors from years ago. Whatever the case may be, the doctors told my mom when I was born the chances of me walking and talking were about 10%. Glad that I made that 10%. With all that being said, the adversity that I've had in my life, at least the small steps that I've taken to overcome it, have really made it to where other things in my life, as long as I take the right glance at it, I come out on top. So, what is it that I figured out at the tender age of 7 about overcoming adversity? Well, for me, it was starting with myself. My mom, I love my mom, love my mom. She thought it would be the best idea to get me Encyclopedia Britannicas in order to, I guess, quell my satiation for knowledge while I was down and out. Couldn't go to school. I ended up missing the last 3 months of the school year. Subsequently, I couldn't really do much that entire summer and the first month and a half of the next school year. So my mom thought it would be great to get me the Encyclopedia Britannica, and that just made me hungry for learning. I actually started reading the dictionary due to the fact there was a lot of words I was coming across in the Encyclopedia Britannica that I had never really had any contact with before. Got my first thesaurus at the age of 7. I started doing writing, and this led me to realize there's another part of me outside of just this movement, outside of the outside part of me, there's an inner part of me that I wanted to build up. And so, at the age of 7, one of the things I realized about overcoming adversity is that you have to start inside. It is an inside job. Wherever you are in life, whatever it is that's going on in your life, the universe will throw you tasks, throw you different situations in order for you to grow spiritually, mentally, and physically. And that's what adversity is. Adversity is here to make you a better version of yourself, to give you a chance, an opportunity to learn about who you are and possibly make better decisions than what you did in the past. So, when it comes to overcoming adversity and starting inside with yourself, you have to remember that what you focus on grows. Whatever it is that you draw and put your attention into tends to be the result that you get. Let's talk about Uncle Bruce here for a little bit. When Bruce Lee first came to America, he had aspirations of being a big movie star, one of the first kung fu Chinese American movie stars, and he's gonna go back to Hong Kong. He's gonna be so huge, and when he got here, couldn't land a role. Now we've heard this story before, probably 1,000 times. And out of the 1,000 times this story happens, maybe one time there's a person that continues to fight through, like a Michael Jordan who didn't make the first basketball cut of his career, and so on and so forth. So, what did Bruce do? Instead of being angry about not being able to get what he wanted when he came here, he changed his plan. He overcome adversity by talking to himself and coming up with a new tactic. So he started instructing Kung Fu. He started taking acting classes. Bruce Lee, unbeknownst to a lot of people, actually was already well versed in dancing. He had won I believe it was a Samba championship in Hong Kong before coming to America. So he had applied his Kung Fu skills, his skills as a dancer, his skills in philosophy. Let's not forget about the man's philosophy. And he put that level of charisma and enthusiasm that he put into those things towards becoming an actor, a kung fu actor. And so it took him some time. He took a lot of people under his wing. It started to galvanize. It started to shift. It started to move. And so even when he started getting roles, they weren't really the roles that he thought he deserved. He thought he deserved bigger roles. He thought he deserved a chance to start directing and writing. And even he realized there's a level to go, that I had to ascertain certain skills, certain experiences in order for me to be able to get the opportunities that I'm looking to get. So Bruce Lee accomplished so much in his life in a very short period of time before he had his tragic passing. With all that being said, what he did was overcoming adversity. Now, it sounds easy for a kung fu master due to the fact that they're training to be a fighter and to fight through situations. You have that in you too, my friend. Overcoming adversity starts within. It starts with how you feel about the situation. It starts with, are you willing to let the situation change you? Or are you going to change the situation? Learning from our mistakes is one of the most beautiful things about life. Mistakes help us learn, grow, mature. It sends us in the upward spiral if we know what to look for. Because in every mistake, in every problem, therein lies the solution to that problem. You can take that seed, plant it, and cultivate it. So what do I mean by this? Let me give you an example. Let's say your problem is you have trouble with women. You have trouble with men. You keep attracting the same type of one. Terrible relationships. Maybe they ignore you, or they cheat on you, or they're just not your type. You mesh in a lot of different areas, but not exactly. The problem is you haven't really decided exactly what you want out of a person. And you may say right now, well, yes, I have. Sit down and write a detailed list. 55, 65, 75, 100 things that you want out of a person and a relationship, and make it detailed down to their eye color, hair color, what their breath smells like, what they like to eat, where do they work, or even what type of job they have, their family, their height. And you can say, oh my goodness, Umar, why would I do that? That's like, isn't that being selfish? The universe will resonate to whatever you ask it for. And case in point, if you're not asking it for anything and what you ask for is loosely put together, well, what's the old adage? Be careful what you wish for. The reason that that is so true is because what you think is what you attract. So if you're not really thinking about much, or you're just thinking about loose thoughts like, well, I just want to have someone that will watch movies with me, or I want to have someone that has life goals, so on and so forth, and there's no specifics behind it, you may attract that person, yet you'll soon find out that what they have or what they're offering isn't exactly what you're looking for. So to get specific, to look into the problem and look for the solution inside the problem is always going to benefit you. And like I said, it could be anything. I was making the comment about relationships just a moment ago. It could be The same thing with work. If you're having trouble getting that job or ascertaining the amount of money that you think that you deserve in your job, well, you have to look at a couple things. Look at the problem. The problem is I'm not getting the money. Well, why am I not getting the money? Is the money not coming to me because, one, am I not doing a good job? That could be one way of looking at it. Am I doing a really good job? Somebody else taking the credit for it. I'm doing a really good job. They don't have the money to pay me right now. Should I look elsewhere? There's so many ways to come from it. Look at the problem and then start picking the problem apart to find a solution to that problem. Same thing in math. You can look on one side of the equation. That's why they call it an equal sign, because whatever's on one side should be equal to the other side. And that's why in the problem 2 plus 4, therein lies the solution. 2 plus 4 equals 6. It's mathematics, my friend, in a way, shape, and form. So, back to what I was saying, overcoming adversity. You can do it. You just have to have due diligence. You just have to start with yourself. You have to make sure that you believe in whatever it is that you're looking to do, and whatever comes your way, even if it's the hardest, most tenuous thing you've done in your life, to be emotionally sound, to be mentally sound, and to focus on that problem in a way that you start breaking it down to find out what solution there is to that problem. And like me, when I first started doing martial arts, like my Uncle Bruce here inspired me, or when I first started to learn how to do the nunchucks, or when I first started to learn how to spin a bow staff, watch out for the trees, all of those things, at the beginning, there was a bit of adversity for me to overcome due to the fact that I had never done it before, due to the fact that I was just starting off learning. I had to learn from my mistakes. I had to pop myself a couple times with the bow staff or the nunchucks to figure out exactly what it is I was doing. So, what I'm really looking to say to you is this. Adversity is going to come. If it doesn't, you're probably not doing what you're meant to be doing in life, or you're avoiding the hard circumstances. And if that's how you want to live, it's really up to you. For all of those other people out there, when adversity does come, it's time to make a choice, an executive decision about your life, about how you want to approach things and how you want to do things. Do you want to be upset about what's going on, be a victim of the circumstances, or flip it over and figure out what's going on and have your circumstances be a product of you? It's as easy as that, my friends. And it's also as easy as paying attention to when you have the opportunity to learn from your mistakes. Donk. With all that being said, as always, from right here at the Wise Tribe, infinite love, infinite peace, infinite wisdom. Namaste. Another good saying: it's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war.